Welcome to FBO Director. We're reviewing our brand new flight school module, which is modeled after our former FBO Manager flight school module and Aero Club Manager successes we had in the past. In our previous videos, we already reviewed how to set up an aircraft, how to set up owners, and how to set up instructors. This is the third video in that series, which brings us into flight school operations and getting our dispatching to work. At this point, this is basic setup. There's still a lot of other features and functions you can use, like aircraft maintenance and uploading documents, but I'm trying to show you the quickest way to get started. So in FBO Director, we have our main dashboard. Your dashboard probably looks something like this, and you may or may not have sales data on it. I expanded my date and time range here to refresh to show. So your dashboard looks like this, and if you have our flight school module, you have a tab up here called Flight School. You have an aircraft ready to go. You've got a pilot standing at the front counter. So what you would do is click on Dispatch Aircraft, and that loads the dispatch screen. Step one, pick an airplane. And there's 5660 Golf, my new airplane that I had just added. There's the picture of our aircraft, our particular rental rate, and the product code that we had set up was rental aircraft, things you do not need to change for dispatch. The pilot that I want to use is Jim Lovell. Notice it has his customer information, and we can try to send him out on his own as a solo. I don't remember all the details, so what we'll do is say check dispatch. And if you recall, I had set up Mr. Lovell to have a BFR last year, and then the class 3 medical, because he's over age 40, his medical was on May of 2017, which means we are about 30 months down the road, because today is December 19th when I'm recording this video, and he failed that. So at this time, you would have to go back and get new medical information, or if he is flying with an instructor, we would retrieve that instructor to go on the dispatch. We're going with autopilot, and he is good looking photo there. We can go ahead, notice the souls on board updated. I can key in a route of flight as desired, Plant City to Victor Bravo, and check dispatch. And at this point, we can print a dispatch sheet. So the dispatch sheet will be taken out to the airplane by the pilot. Now notice my Hobbs out is showing as 0. And that's because this is a brand new airplane that's never been dispatched before. We're set up to dispatch that. It was printed at this particular time. We've got some departure, usually 30 minutes from now, and an expected return time about 90 minutes later. We've got the pilot build to information, make and model. This has his BFR and medical data on it. And when the instructor and the pilot are out there, they'll see the shutdown checklist and can sign off on everything. Now, I've printed the dispatch sheet, and we go about our merry way. In FBO Director, we're running transactions. The student and the pilot are out doing their thing, and they return to check in the airplane. At the front counter, flight school, this will list all of the dispatched airplanes. Here you see we have one dispatched airplane. This is for checking out, this is for returning, and this is to delete the aircraft. So I'm going to return the dispatch, check in the airplane, in other words. And notice I've got check-in aircraft up here. Since this was the first time this airplane flew, we're going to have to enter a Hobbs reading. So I'm going to keep my math easy on both my Hobbs and my TAC, and we'll say that they were out for 1.7 hours. Now notice Hobbs in, Hobbs out. I got them backwards. Gotta love it, right? The reason for that is to make sure our math is correct. So let me fix my math. And like I said, if we were doing this with a regular flight, everything would be filled in properly. Now I have the information on the screen. Nothing else that I need to add. I don't need to change any pricing, but generally a lot of folks will like to mark up instruction. So it's easier to go ahead and add, say, 0.5 at this point. I'll call that 2.2, and I'm going to click Save an Invoice. An invoice has been prepared. Our 1.7 flight, our 2.2 instruction. Everything's here. I can bill this out appropriately for this particular customer. I'm going to put it on account. I'll go ahead and submit that. Capture signature if I want. Here's my invoice, and we are done. That's how we dispatch an aircraft. Best thing to do is play with the system on stage, get used to using it, run through a few, set up a few pilots and aircraft to make sure everything looks correct.